if a lot of people can play poker for a living, why not chess? The threshold of being competitive to a point where you can make a living is actually super, super hard. That is where Anichess really come into play. With like online tournaments and big prize pools, we can have a story where chess enthusiasts try to be good at the game and make a living out of the game. When there are more and more games like Pudgy Party gaining market share, I wouldn't see games not moving into that direction. The matter of when will it hurt enough for the big Web2 studios to make a move. When I do the biopsy, turns out to be a lymphoma, which is like a lymph cancer. And after this whole episode, I just rethink, right? Like, what's the priority in life? Like what's the point of chasing after money and glory when you leave this world? You cannot take it with you.
Chev, welcome to the Chinsanity show. It's an honor to have you, my friend. Man, dude, I feel like you've been everywhere on my timeline. I know you guys been cooking at Anichess. You were just in Bali, right? Doing stuff. Yeah, how was that like?
Hey Chin, I'm so glad, and it's my absolute honor to be here. It's my first time ever in this professional setting doing a podcast, but yeah, absolutely amazing, thank God. And Bali was great. Me and my team, Tom, Kenneth, Rovin, we just head on to the CoinFest Asia. I think over 10K people turn up in the event.
Oh, wow.
And the whole atmosphere is just like a carnival, right? It's like a village, and then there are like big booths, you know, games, music, food, and the weather is perfect as well. So the vibes is 100%.
Yeah. You know, I always find it interesting how they had a conference at like a resort area.
Yeah.
Because usually I feel like crypto conferences, right? You're like in some big city, like a Hong Kong, or I was just in Tokyo, right? But having it in a resort area in Bali, like, what was the vibes like? Is it different from usual conferences, or?
It's super different.
Is it?
It's super different. Like, especially born and raised coming from Hong Kong, it's like everything's so tall, so packed. And literally every conferences that I went to, like Hong Kong, you know, Singapore, Token, it's basically the same. But Bali is just so refreshing in a way that, although the traffic is the worst, like,
I heard.
because it's
why is that?
It's kind of like a village where it's not like in the most popular area, but you have to like travel all the way. I think from airport with traffic takes you 3 hours to go there.
3 hours?
3 hours jamming, 3 hours to just go to there.
That's crazy.
But inside, the vibes is just unreal.
Yeah. And so I was curious, like, what made you guys, your team and NHS, to go to Bali, right? Like, you guys, you guys weren't in Tokyo or stuff like that. But yeah, I was just curious, why Bali? Is there a reason why?
Yeah, it's actually a funny story because last year we kind of want to go, but it's also kind of expensive, so we didn't. But apparently they have like this chess event, right? They invited one of the best female chess player in Indonesia, Chelsea Monica. She was there playing Simo chess, you know. And this time, this year around, they invited us to go, right? Because they want another chess partner, chess game, you know, to be there. So they basically lined us up with Chelsea. And then they just basically invited us over for free. And then we were like, okay, why not? Like, exposure to 10K people and then good villa and stuff. So
do you guys have a booth there at the conference?
We have a massive booth, yeah.
Oh.
We have the biggest game booth actually.
Oh, really?
On site.
How did... Because I feel like you guys are unique, how you guys always onboard these big like chess players and Web2 people, right? That might not know Web3 and stuff. Like, how was her reaction of the game and stuff?
No, she loved it.
Yeah.
She loved it. I think it's actually an interesting story because the whole concept started with, you know, having the Magnus Carlsen IP, and then the whole vision is really to bring Web2 and also like chess.com people on board, right? And then like back in the days, the biggest worry is, okay, if we're adding magic to the game, wouldn't it like piss off a lot of people, right? Especially the grandmasters, the competitive people who just spent their life studying the opening, studying the patterns, right? But then, very interestingly, the very first course that we did, I remember it was with David Howell, the UK #1, and then Judith Poga, the legendary female player. They loved the game already. Like they loved the concept.
They've all played it before.
They played it like
Wow.
in the beginning, right, on the concept, right, and then we hop on a call with Magnus Carlsen himself.
That's crazy.
And then he basically tweeted right after the call saying, "This is the most exciting chess variant he has ever seen." Right.
Wow.
So that is kind of the thing that kept us going, because we know that, okay, now chess players actually love this game, especially Magnus, right? He is such a huge fan of other chess variants and and exciting chess, right? Outside of classical chess, because he feel like it's not too watchable, like classical chess might get too boring for viewers, for streamers as well. So probably that's why he really liked the challenge and liked the magic aspect of the game.
Yeah. You mentioned like variants of like different chess
Yeah.
games. Like what? Maybe I'm not as well versed in the other avenues or variants of chess. Like what else is out there? Like maybe in the Web2 sense. Of things.
So actually on chess.com there are already a few like variants. One is called duck chess, for example. Like is addition to playing chess, you can place these ducks, like ducklings, which serve as like a blockade, right? So it's just something on top. Something called hand and brain chess. Basically, it's 2 versus 2. One player would name a piece, another player will move a piece, right? So that is actually pretty interesting in these years, where a pro player will match with a not too pro player. So even if the pro player say something like the correct move, the correct piece, but the not pro player may not move the right move, right? So that's actually pretty interesting. Like different forms of chess variants are out there, but we're glad, like Magnus said, like we are the most exciting chess variant that they ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Do you ever get any pushback when you reveals that, hey, you guys are like on chain, have something to do with crypto, blockchain? Do you ever get
definitely.
pushback from like chess players or even the pros? And
no, definitely. I think up till today, the most common chess community or just Web2 chess guys, they don't really like stuff that is on chain. Basically, they hear something around NFT or they hear something around crypto, they probably just don't do it at all. So that kind of brings us back to the question: how do we bring these people on board if their perception is so negative, right? So I think one is definitely the onboarding. We basically, in traditional Web2 sense, we don't even market ourselves as a Web3 game. We just market ourselves with like chess 2.0, chess with a drop of magic. So people basically just come in, they log in with their Google, Facebook, whatever. They start playing the game and they know nothing. They can know nothing about crypto or Web3 at all, but they can still enjoy the game first. And then going forward, when they dive deeper into the game, they can start getting rewards and stuff. And those would suddenly be on chain. And that would be the point where we try to educate them like, okay, this is something that you can actually sell. This is something that you can freely transfer as opposed to a Web2 game.
Yeah, I think that's huge, right? Because I feel like I always say this on a lot of spaces. And I feel like I said that even last night, is that games, especially Web3 games, just need to be fun, like playable, easy for people outside of Web3 to play, right? Like recently, I don't know when this is going to be released, but like Pudgy Party, for example.
Oh
right?
boy.
Yeah. It's similar to what you guys
Amazing.
are, right? You sign up with your email, right? And then you just play and you collect skins, like same with you guys.
Exactly.
Anichess. And those are on chain. Those are all on chain.
Yeah.
And people don't even know that you actually can sell those skins in the marketplace, right?
No,
And
I was actually genuinely surprised because I was like, wait, like how did this work, right? Because I know it's an app store game, and then I know like Apple was not really a fan of, crypto and stuff. And then I was seeing posts like, selling that legendary skin for like $600, and I was like, ooh, wait, how do they do it, right? And then I was just drilling into the whole mythical games and mythical marketplace and all that, and just play through. I think 2 days ago I also tried to challenge myself in the dopamine rush, and then I think I was in the top 10. And then hopefully I can stay there. I think the deadline is like tonight. But I think I just hope I can get that skin because the game itself is just so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not as much of a gamer. It was kind of hard when I first played it. Dude, I was like dying. I was falling off the cliff and stuff. Like people were like, oh, let's join my party. I'm like, I gotta improve my skills first before.
You haven't played Fall Guys before?
I haven't. No.
Oh, that's why.
It's just like Fall Guys, huh?
Yeah, basically just Fall Guys, but everything is Pudgies. So, but yeah, it's like so family friendly, and I do think the gaming, like especially Web3 gaming space, we kind of need to stop distinguishing games and Web3 games, because there's no point, right? Like if you're just marketing to the Web3 gamers, you're just gonna attract 90% of like farmers, right, and bots, right? But if you just start going in with a really fun game, be it, market to Web2 or Web3, people just enjoy the game first. Like, Pudgy Party is a really good example. Like, I can imagine players from all over the world, even families, right? Even kids, right? They can play the game. And then suddenly one day someone would educate them like, okay, look, you actually have the skin. You actually can sell it, right? And then once they go through that process, they will just be onboarded automatically to Web3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the skins concept. Already the Fortnite generation people are already used to that, right?
Exactly.
And it's like, again, I feel like you said, the word crypto and stuff, NFTs, people just like get crazy. They think about the last cycle where it's just,
exactly.
a lot of them rugged and stuff like that. And so, but also, this year, and I think we might have talked about this before. Maybe we haven't, but, I think especially this year, Web3 gaming, it hasn't been so good.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've seen a lot of projects, pretty much fold.
Just shutting down.
Yeah, shutting down
basically.
and stuff. Some, were rugged, right?
Yeah.
Some
fast rugs, slow rugs.
Right. Or some had just lost funding, right? They were actually genuine builders, right?
Yeah.
And I was just curious, like, in your viewpoint, right? Where do you see Web3 gaming, going to be? Because like you said, right, like, I think we need to stop talking about gaming and Web3 gaming, separating them into different categories. But yeah, I was just curious, like, what do you think or even like what do you think happened first, like in your perspective? And then
No, I think so. Bit of my personal journey, actually, I got into the space pretty early, but that was around 2018. While I just basically have some ETH, right? The year that I got really deep into Web3 was starting to play Axie Infinity, right? And that was, I think, 20 or early 21. And then I just went through the whole hell of a journey, right? Setting up MetaMask, writing down your seed phrase, buying some super expensive Axies.
How do you hear about Axie Infinity?
Just some friend told me. Some DGen poker friends told me.
Is this before you were in Web3 or?
It's actually before. Yeah.
Wow.
And as a player and a gamer in Axie Infinity, that actually landed my job at Animoca Brands. So that's a pretty cool story, actually. Like, I gone through the whole, I would call it like the Stone Age of GameFi. Basically, the UX is as worse as it can be for a gamer, right? You just can't imagine, right? For a non-degen to go through all the hassle just to enjoy a game, which, like, I wouldn't say it's like super fun. Like, people are just mainly playing it for the SLP rewards and stuff, right? So that was the Stone Age, right? And then we go to the airdrop dynasty, right? Basically, it's people grinding different games, like, I already forgot, like, just so many games, like, that whole 1-2 years are just game after games, fundraise and then new games. But I think 90% of those games are just they grind it, they say, oh, there's this airdrop, and then just attract a bunch of like traffic. And then back in the days, you with good traffic, you just get good listings, right? You have good traffic, and then you just get Binance, right? So that was kind of the airdrop era, where basically most of the Web3 gamers, or so-called, gamers or farmers, they're just hopping, game to another game and to another game. I think right now, where we're in, we're kind of in we already realized, right? We already realized the pitfalls, right? We already know that these methods or this way of like doing Web3 gaming doesn't really work, right? So I think builders these days, one, they made the UX super easy, right? They target masses, like Pudgy Party, for example, just hitting home runs, right? Like I think 5 out of 5 on App Store, and then over 500 reviews already in 2 days' time. And I think ranking number 1 on races category as well. So that's just a fun game, right? Like 1 is definitely the super easy onboarding, targeting both Web2, Web3, just people who enjoy games, right? 2, it's you have a very good distribution idea already. Like a game like Pudgy Party is definitely the best on App Store, right? And Google Play. There's just no other platform for that game if you want to hit the casual gamers, right? So I think builders these days, if they're still in, and if they're like really still here to build, I think we're definitely seeing a lot of movement to building just fun games, taking away Web3 element as just speaking of like marketing, like they don't even have to market. Like for example, Pudgy Party, you don't see them market like the best crypto game, like and expect people to see and then come in and play. Or do they not market themselves as like play and earn or play to earn, something like that, but just a fun family game, Pudgy Party, right? So I do see games evolving more and more like this. And yeah, I do think we're definitely on the right track, because imagine more and more games built like this, more and more Pudgy Party, more and more games that fill up App Store, Google Play, and then Steam, and then different big platforms. Then it's just a matter of time where people just naturally get onboarded.
Yeah. It's funny what you said about like, I feel like in the previous cycle, you call it what, the airdrop dynasty cycle is when I go to these conferences or when I like just talk to builders, right? The first thing they would say is like, oh, this game is on this chain. They never even say, oh, this game is an RPG. Like normally what you say, the game, what type of game is this? An adventure game or like Fall Guys or Fortnite? Yeah, they would start with, oh, this is on Avalanche. Yeah. Or this is on Polygon. Yeah. Right? And I feel like in the previous cycle, right, it was like that was the selling point. It's like, what chain am I on? Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then when we're going TGE. Yeah. Right? And then the game, right? Yeah. But like you said, we've seen that, it doesn't work, right? It's not sustainable. And this is a question I actually asked my last previous guest about like Web3 games in general, like the genres wise. I'm curious actually to hear from you as a game builder. It's like between like fast casual versus AAA. Like, do you think there's still a place for AAA games in our industry Web3? Because there was a lot, like Shrapnel, the biggest one. And now, I don't know where they're at right now, right? So yeah.
I think definitely. I think after all, it's just games, and then after all, it's just games. Be it you embrace crypto or NFTs or not, but after all, I think we definitely are in the long term moving into the directions of fun games with digital property right. And how do you make that happen? It's basically Web3 elements, right? Be it NFTs, be it tokens, or be it community building, be it UGC, be it governance, right? So just a matter of time when those come into games. I think we're just waiting for that tipping point where you mentioned about AAA and then, the dream of the Web3 gaming landscape is definitely something like Riot Games coming in and stuff, like League of Legends having a Web3 arm.
What do they think about Web3 games, Riot Games and stuff like that?
I actually have no idea, but I just feel like when like what I just mentioned happened, like when there are more and more, games like Pudgy Party on App Store, more and more like these kind of games on Steam, and then these are just gradually gaining market share. It's just a matter of time before the big studios actually realize their top line is actually eroding because these Web3 games are coming into play. And I think at the end of the day, gamers, they do value their digital items, right? Like, and having the ability to sell, ability to transfer, ability to even rent it out, for money that they can use. That is just a dream. I wouldn't see games not moving into that direction, but it's just the matter of when will it hurt enough for the big Web2 studios to make a move? Because right now they don't have incentive. I think it was really just the incentive issue.
There's no money.
Like their market share is not harmed. Like these guys are just making like bad quality games, and so I don't care, right? Like my top line is not harmed. Then I'm just doing what I'm doing. But at that point where more and more games like Pudgy Party come into play, like mobile game developers, AAA game developers see that happen. Like then suddenly or even like more and more games go to like Gamescom and all those, then they will have to realize, right? When they think about their next 3-year growth strategy, 5-year growth strategy, it's just a matter of time when they start strategizing. Okay, do we want to at least try something or experiment something into this direction?
Yeah. In your opinion, right? I asked this my last guess, right? But GTA 6.
Oh,
do you think it's gonna be crypto or not crypto or?
I think to be honest, it's hard to say, and to be honest, it has delayed for so long now. It's already become a meme, right?
Yeah, it should be released in the fall of this year. That's what I think last time.
I heard next year. No,
oh, it's next year now.
Yeah.
There you go.
But basically, I think that's what Yat always said, right? These days when he talked about the landscape of gaming and why he's still super bullish is something like GTA 6 is definitely gonna bring back eyeballs to gaming, right? Because to be honest, over the past year, it's really just meme coin and then like InfoFi and then like RWA and then like a bunch of narratives, right? Like AI and stuff. And GameFi is just keep going down, right? And then of course you see the headlines like game after game's just shutting down, right? But I think when something as big as GTA 6 comes back, be it crypto related or not, people's mind share and just narrative wise, they would just naturally come back, right? Of course, we hope there's like at least some elements, right, in Web3, but I think be it, have it immediately or not, right, it will definitely bring back eyeballs to gaming for sure.
So I'm hearing you think GTA 6 might have crypto. There might be. You don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows, right? Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting what you guys are building at Anichess, right? Actually, real quick, can you maybe tell people what is Anichess, what type of game it is, and stuff like that?
Yeah, so definitely. I want to start with the current landscape of like chess, right? Basically, the history of chess. It has been a game, basically the oldest game in history, right? Over 1,500 years old.
Where did it start?
I think in India.
India?
Originated from India. It's like a game between the kings and then...
I would think it's like some medieval in England. You got the king, the queen, the bishop. The bishop. Right? Bishop is a very European
thing.
But India.
But actually, the first version of chess actually originated in India. And to be honest, over the past 1,500 years, it doesn't really have an upgrade, right? Like, unlike League of Legends, you have like patch over patch, season over season. But chess is something that, it's just classical, it's just art, it's just culture. And then, but recent years, there's this issue, right? Like, one is AI taking over, right? Like, chess engines have just solved the game perfectly. So anyone sitting at their home will already know what's the next best move, right? They don't even need to think, right? They just need to input into the engine, or they can just even Google, right? There's just so many chess engines out there telling them what's the next best move.
It's like a AI that tells you what.
Yeah,
to do.
basically.
Oh.
Yeah. It's actually the very first application of AI, which is people start to build chess engines and fight each other. I think lately we also see like Elon Musk and try to build that. I think Grok chess and then open AI chess and all that. But yeah, this is a game where has been through the ages, through all the wartime, ups and downs and different dynasties and all that, but still here, right? So definitely gameplay wise, it's the most proven game of all time. And then two, we have this monster partnership with chess.com. So we're thinking and brainstorming, okay, what can we actually build with them, right? Given the 200 million of user base that they have, right? So then we have the idea, like, one, why don't we try to solve the cheating issue with chess, right? Because with classical chess, you can't really have big online tournaments, right? Imagine you have online poker tournaments, like $1 million prize pool in the chess context. Everyone will be cheating at home, right? Because you have the perfect answer for every move, right? But what if there is a game mode where we add in imperfect information like poker? In poker, you can't see the whole cards, right? You're dealt 2 cards, you don't see, and you need some kind of guesses. You need to play a lot of bluffs, mental games, and so on. What if we also have that in chess, right? So we have this idea of some spells mechanics. And what is interesting is I personally was inspired by the Harry Potter scene. That is when I got into chess when I was 6. Right, so I always fantasize like, okay, what if chess, but with some magic, right? And I also love to play games like Teamfight Tactics and Hearthstone a lot, and I know a lot of mechanics actually are very well suitable for chess, right? So we start ideating, imagine you can use this spell that you can turn a piece invisible for 1 turn, or you can use this spell to just swap pieces, right? I can swap my rook with your rook, and it could be some super interesting positional play, right? So there is the very first idea of Anichess. Basically, chess with a drop of magic, right? Then we just took this idea to the grandmasters and different levels of players and see how do they feel about the game. And once we have kind of the green light to just go ahead, build this, then we start building spell after spell, and they just keep testing it with the core community as well. We launched with the mini game, what we call the puzzle. So just like chess.com puzzles, but it's like a daily puzzle for Anichess, where you need to use a spell and move some pieces to solve the puzzle. And there's just one solution for every puzzle to just start validating the idea prior to building out the whole PvP game. And in the future, we will introduce something like tournaments, bigger prize pools, heads-up battles, and people can actually start buying in with crypto. And we don't really have to worry about cheating because, one, there's hidden information, right? And there will be more and more spells that have hidden information where even AI don't know where you move it, right? They can only do a best guess, but they can't guarantee that is the right play. And 2, we can introduce more and more spells every single season. So even if the AI did catch up with season 1, maybe we're already at season 3, right? So that can keep the game running and running So that's kind of the in a nutshell what Anichess is.
Yeah. No. I like how you brought from the history from India. I had no idea it was from India.
Yeah.
That's crazy. To kind of how AI has pretty much predicted all the chess moves.
Exactly.
To what you guys are doing. Creating different elements of how to play chess using the spells, right?
Yeah.
And I'm actually wondering this, and I feel like I asked a lot of these gaming founders and creators this and builders is. If anyone has seen Anichess, right, it's just like any Web2 game, right? You play it, and it's not, and I feel like you could have spells, I guess, or create these elements in a Web2 sense game, right? What was even the thought of like bringing it on chain?
Yeah,
so, I mean, obviously you're in Animoca, everything's gonna be on chain Web3, Web3 gaming and stuff, but what? Why bring it on chain? Like, couldn't this work in a Web2 sense?
Yeah, definitely. I think one is you mentioned, right? The whole mission, within Animoca Brands is to promote true digital property rights. So given we have a game like Anichess and we have the massive partnership with chess.com, we actually have a really good opportunity to just attract many players in the sense where imagine chessboards, chess pieces, backgrounds, and all that. Especially we have the magical element in game and the lore and the entire thing. Imagine all those are like NFTs, right? And imagine like if we're just building it in a Web2 sense, people still just gonna be collecting off-chain collectibles where they can't really sell, they can't really transfer freely, because at the end of the day they are not owning what they pay for. But at Animoca and at Anichess, what's really important is we want to educate, like definitely one is we want to, like through gaming, we want to bring masses on chain. We want to educate people all the good stuff about on-chain economy and usability and so on. But especially in a game point of view, we do believe that if players pay for something online, they should really own it. And by owning it, meaning that even if the game collapsed, you should still have it, right? Or even, like nowadays in Web2, if someone in the, let's say League of Legends, right? If I buy a skin and someone within Riot Games have beef with you, he can just take away your skin, right?
Oh, really?
Like because it's just a
so if you had an argument with someone working at Riot Games, they can take
exactly because it's
skin.
it's not on chain, because it's just a back end database thing, and then if they want to mess with you, anyone have access to the database, could just erase your sword, erase your skin, whatever. But if it is an NFT, unless they have your seed phrase, nobody can take that away from you. So if we are building this game with a lot of skins, a lot of interesting, like limited edition Magnus Carlsen chess pieces, almost an art, right? Like if we're building that kind of thing and people paying a hefty amount of money for that because they believe in like digital collectibles, definitely we want them to have the true ownership of that skin or that collectible, because we can't risk a point where, if the server is compromised, or if the database is compromised, or if internally someone just went rogue, right? We can't let this happen when they just erase every valuable asset on the back end, right? So NFTs and on-chain definitely solves this problem. I think that's number one, right? Like why NFT is really important in the sense of digital collectible. But second is, I mentioned around like tournaments and online tournaments and buy-ins. Previous 4 or 5 years, I was actually playing poker semi-pro, and actually
I
got...
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro.
Oh,
I was at one point top 100 player in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Poker all-time money list. I think right now I was already back to around 130, 140 because I have stopped, since my cancer last year. Maybe we can talk a bit more, but basically, back to the story. I was always wondering if a lot of people can play poker for a living, why not chess, right? And I do have the answer.
So people
because
don't. They can't play. Oh.
Because if you're just playing ordinary chess, you need to get super super good. We're talking about in all of the chess tournaments worldwide for a meaningful prize pool. We're always talking about the top 20 or top 50 players in the world.
How much is that prize
and there are like 600 million of chess players in the world. But you're just talking about like tournaments after tournaments is always the same grandmasters. So the threshold of being competitive to a point where you can make a living is actually super, super hard. But unless there is something like, online poker tournament where, you can now sitting at home and then you can have a shot at the $1 million prize pool. And the only way that you can do that is you have a way to tackle cheating and tackle people using AI and engines to solve the game. And that is where Anichess really come into play, right? So we do believe that with a game like Anichess, with like online tournaments and big prize pools, we can have a story where chess enthusiasts, they can actually try to be good at the game and make a living out of the game. And not only not just that you need to be the best player, but also you can be a good content creator, and then you can still make a lot of content and have a share of the check token because you are adding value to the ecosystem. So that is why, I think, one is definitely the digital collectible NFT point of view. But two is definitely when there is money and tournaments and prize pool involved, what's better way to on-ramp, off-ramp, cash in, cash out other than crypto, right? Because it's just the fastest and cheapest way and the most secure way people can do that right now.
Yeah. You mentioned like the NFT side of things, right? Like digital assets. That's something like the example, right? That you just put like if someone Riot Games has beef with you, right? He could just delete and then you're gone. It's gone, right? All you paid or Fortnite or whatnot. And I forgot when this was, maybe a few years ago. Call of Duty, they closed down one of their Warzone servers or whatnot. Again, and then I heard like everyone who bought skins, it was all gone.
Yeah,
because again, it's in one server, it's not on chain, right? It's not decentralized. And this is actually what I always say to my friends when they ask me, okay, crypto gaming, like, what are you talking about? I was like, that example, that case study. And then when I tell them that, they're like, that makes sense. You own it. It's an NFT. You could sell it in a marketplace.
Yeah.
And hopefully eventually, I don't know if this is even possible, but the word interoperability, I haven't heard that in a while. On Spaces or anything, but yeah, that would be cool, right? Having your character, your guns in a different game and stuff like that. And I think only being on the blockchain, on chain, does that, right?
Yeah. So interoperability, I think it's still a myth. No, like literally you can, like theoretically you can do that already. For example, imagine you have this Magnus Carlsen skin, and then, in the future, building out the Checkmate ecosystem, there is just more than one game. Like Anichess is the very first game in Checkmate, right? But there could be other games. So basically the team, just vibe coded a game called King's Gambit, for example, which is like a king survival game. You don't need to be good at chess, but you just need to kind of wander around. You have to keep your king safe, and then it's like kind of like zombie attack, where we showcased the game in Bali, and people loved it, and because they can queue up and they can win merch and stuff. But as we are building out the Checkmate ecosystem, and as there are more and more games within the ecosystem, we can definitely program something like, okay, if you have the Magnus Carlsen skin, in game A, you have this perk. In game B, you have this boost. In game C, you have this cool visual, right? That way, interoperability can actually happen, because when we think about like token, you know, I'm not a really big fan of like a single game token. Because if you are just building a whole token infrastructure and use case only for one game, you're not realizing the scale, right? And it's also kind of capped the valuation and the potential of this token. But a token is actually the most interoperable thing, right? Like one token, you can trade it on 100 exchanges, right? For example. And one token, you can potentially use it in so many different games, right? So why don't we build a token that is power the whole ecosystem, right? So actually, people know us as Anichess, but we're just building something much bigger with Checkmate ecosystem, where Anichess is the very first game, and more games are coming, be it the team is building it, or in the future, we're gonna empower the community to build it, right? Look, through vibe coding these days, building mini games or building like some high quality games is relatively easy. And what if a case or a scenario where we have a platform allowing people to submit and publish their own game, almost like Steam, right? But every season, people who stake the token can actually vote on what is the favorite game and why, and you know, the most popular game or the most voted game actually wins that season and then gets a bunch of check token to power the economy, right? That is the way that, you know, we are not only relying on the team's resources anymore. We're just gathering all power from the community and really build a game ecosystem across the community and across the gamers, right? So there could be 10 games, you know, and there could be, over the years, there could be hundreds of games all using the same token. So that is the kind of the growth story and the flywheel.
So creating like like you said, like Checkmate ecosystem.
Yeah.
Being, I guess, Anichess being the first type of
Exactly.
game. But in the future, once you guys release the token, kind of powers this whole ecosystem. and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, also you mentioned NFTs, right? You guys recently just launched your NFT.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just curious, like, what made you guys? Because it's a pretty small collection, right? It's like 900 or so.
960.
960. But when it initially launched, it was free.
Yep.
Right. Well, what was the thought process of even having a free mint? Because
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen as well. I mean, there has been a lot of NFTs that are free mints, but then successful ones I haven't as heard as much. Like, I can't think any of the blue chips I can think of were free initially. But yeah, what was the process behind free mints? I'm actually curious. Like, when I hear that, sometimes I'm like, okay, why and stuff like that. But it seems like right now, right, you guys are doing pretty well. But yeah, what's the concept behind that?
I was actually a massive fan of free mint because one, from a community standpoint, you are just rewarding your OGs, right? For example, in our collection, 80% of the whitelists are given to players who played the game for over 1 year, right? So we look at data, we make sure we're dropping to the real holders and real players.
So
of
you
the
guys
game.
launched the game before
Yes,
like, the NFTs
yes.
for a whole year before even
Actually 1.5.
Wow.
1.5 years. So I think that is actually, like, to me, I think that is the right sequence, right? Because think about if you just launch an NFT right from the get-go, who are you attracting, right? You're just attracting
Farmers.
a bunch of farmers coming in or a bunch of speculators coming in thinking to make a quick flip or, you know, 2 free X and they're out, right? But whereas you just launch the game first, you look at the data, you make sure these are the guys who are really love the game, who really played the game a lot, who are creating content without paying them. Like, these are the guys that you know you have to reward them, right? And so with 1 to 1.5 years down the line, we launched the Anichess Eternals collection. And I think the most powerful point is really to look at data and drop to the right people. So then if we're dropping to 80% of the diamond hands, then you can tell why we're still holding at around 0.3 ETH floor, which is around 1.4K.
That's
from,
crazy.
From
a
thin
free
air.
mint.
From thin air.
That's crazy.
So because already we know, like, 80%, of the NFTs are going to the diamond hands, right? So even if we do partners, we do some, whitelist giveaways to just do some marketing, but the bulk of the people are just gonna hold because they realize the value. They know in the future this is the roadmap, what they're looking for, and what is the perks and what is the the upside of holding. So definitely one, it's around giving back to the community instead of trying to drain from the community from the get-go. Because like what I've said, right? Like dropping to the right people is actually super important. If you make an NFT sell right from the get-go, definitely you're not, I'm pretty sure 90% of those are not gonna stay after 1 month. Right, that's pretty unfortunate fact, because like if you're just a new project, who would just there's just so many projects and so many like DeFi and so many things to do in this space. Like why would they come in and be a diamond hand unless they spend time in the community, unless they build meaningful friendship in the community?
They're just gonna flip.
Exactly.
Like you said, yeah.
Right. So I think the other point around being a free mint is actually a pretty genius idea. We're working with like APC people, Abi, Sev,
AP Collective.
AP Collective. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's kind of there. I think it's a really genius idea. Like imagine we do like 0.05 mint price, right? Like just try to monetize a bit and stuff. But then what this does is you set a floor basically. If the mint price is 0.05, and then people would be like, okay, like 3x is pretty good, right? Like 4x is pretty good, right? And then you suddenly have a invisible like cell or a ceiling at around 2-3x, right? But imagine you're a free mint, you don't really have that, because people would because it's free, there's no 2x of free. There's no 3x of free, because 0 times 3 is 0, right? so that is something that just out of the box thinking. Like if you're doing a free mint, and if a lot of the supply is dropping to the diamond hands, then and you have a really thin floor, small collection, right? Then the floor is lava and the sky is the limit. Right, so that is kind of a very, very interesting psychology thing behind the free mint, which is one, you can use this to really reward your community, and two, it's really you don't cap yourself in a way. Like even if you do like 0.001, 10x is so good, right? 10x, a lot of people would just exit. But if it's a free mint, people can just really guess, right? People can just really like look at how bullish they are, and the floor just goes from there.
Yeah.
So
what do you say to like, because it makes sense, the concept, right? But then I feel like a lot of projects I've helped run spaces for, right, where their concepts like we need to mint first an NFT or token because we need the funds to even create something. Like, how can games, I guess, because I feel like a lot of them have to out of necessity.
Yeah.
Like tokens, like they have to go TG or they have to mint for the money. Like, how can like, I guess, how can they have the funds even to, like 1.5 years is a lot to not, for a lot of people, but it makes sense, right? For a lot of people to not launch a token or not launch an NFT project. Like how, as a gaming builder, how could games do that? Yeah.
I think there are different type of game studios out there, right? Definitely you can be a one man studio. You can be like a bunch of, 3-4 guys studio. You can be like a 30 AAA studio, right? I think for the AAA it's relatively easy. You can raise a lot of funding, and that funding can give you a runway for like 3-4 years, right? Depending on how AAA you want to be. And then I think this question is mainly targeting those smaller guys, and especially like maybe even like solo entrepreneurs who are really like indie developers and they are just so passionate in one concept. They want to bring it, to life, but they also need funding to keep them afloat, right? So I think, especially these days with AI and vibe coding, like literally what the team has been doing at Anichess the previous 2 months is we have been embracing AI so much. Like not only helping us with the productivity side of things, the whole like Checkmate ecosystem, the whole building game after game after game kind of concept, and the whole empowering the community to also build game for you concept really come from the fact that people, even they don't know how to code, now they can build games, right? So I think one, if you're like a very passionate gamer and you have like this cool concept, I do welcome, I think Checkmate, ecosystem will be a really good platform for you to begin in the future, because there you have the opportunity to get the eyeballs from a lot of people. And then building with AI, the second point, is relatively cheap, right? You don't even need to know how to code, but you can build with AI. And then a lot of free models out there, free trials. You don't even have $1 of upfront costs, and you can already start building game after game. And then with a game, with a platform like Checkmate, or what we call Vibe Check, you have a shot to be selected. If the community loves you, and if the game is really fun, and people really vouch for it, right? Then you suddenly have your funding, right? So I stand by my kind of viewpoint where, unless your NFT is really intrinsically valuable, like for example, you have a deal with Magnus Carlsen, and you guys are doing like a Magnus Carlsen chess pieces.
And is he like the best like chess player?
Yeah,
right now?
yeah, he's the GOAT. He's like Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo of chess.
Wow.
Yeah. So unless you're doing that sort of NFT, right? I really don't see people just buying a random game NFT just because they have to. Because back in the days at Axie Infinity, it's because you have to. You have to at least hold 3 Axies, which are NFTs, to even start the game. But I think it's really the other way around of the story. Like, you should definitely let people play first, get hooked first, and then you realize, okay, now if I play this much, if I climb this much, I can earn this, right? Or after, a few period of time where the game already identify your diamond hands, your real community, that's really the time where you want to launch your NFT to increase the sense of belonging of your community, and you really reward them in a way that they can, okay, they spend like a few months now it's a good time for them. If they want to exit, they can. If they want to keep staking for future rewards, they also can. But yeah, selling NFTs in the first place, again, you're just attracting either farmers or speculators who in the end, or not really in the end, maybe after 1 week, after review, they're just gonna dump. Right? So that's the sad reality of launching NFT first before the game.
Before the game, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Like, who you're trying to attract, right? And I feel like a lot of game founders and builders, maybe they don't have the experience, or just they just need to show the numbers to their investors. Like, we have this amount of people, our followers, which is not really equate to community and stuff, right? So yeah, that's interesting there. And you mentioned something that was pretty funny, kind of how you're even creating a chess project and stuff like that. How you said you were playing chess when you were 6.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was just curious, like, how was it like? How was Little Chev like? Were you always playing games and stuff like that? How's your upbringing like?
Yeah, upbringing. I think all along the way, I was very curious about a lot of stuff. And I remember my mom once told me that, back in the days, we had like this weekly visit to grandma. Like every Saturday night, we go into grandma's
Dim
place
sum
then,
and stuff like that.
and then
yeah.
no, it's like dinner,
Oh,
but
okay.
but grandma lives in Tuen Mun, right? Grandma and grandpa, and then we just travel all the way from Kowloon into Tuen Mun.
This is Hong Kong.
It's just Hong Kong,
Yeah.
right? And then every train ride, I would just keep asking my mom, like, ask me questions, like quiz me, like give me multiple choices. And like I think since a very young age, I always like different challenges. I like to win. And starting from chess, and then learn I think around a few months, and then I already start playing in my first tournament. And then I think the very, very first tournament that I played, I already got like I came sixth in the I think under 7 group, right?
Oh, you were like 6 years old.
Or
too.
under 8.
Under
group.
8. Oh,
I was
wow.
6, and then I came sixth. And then just my first victory, for my very first trophy in my life, right? Then I just got excited and got to more classes, and then I think when I was 8, I came second in the under 10 age group.
Wow.
So I was like competing with people like 9 or 10.
So
but
you're like the Magnus Carlsen of your time.
oh no, nowhere near.
Of your school, of your region.
nowhere near. But that was kind of how I
Yeah.
was brought up. I was brought up. I was super thankful actually for a family where I can try a lot of stuff. I actually learned so many like extracurricular activities, like swimming, like I was like singing in the choir.
Yeah.
Uh,
that I know. I've seen you sing before live. Yeah.
I was playing saxophone. I was having piano classes. I was in the maths Olympiad team.
So you like a stereotypical Asian, huh?
Typical Asian. So
Nice.
not really a tiger mom, but
Okay.
I just like to do so
you actually
much.
like that, yeah.
And then I also got into gaming very early on. As you can imagine, like 6-year-old play chess, but way before that should be playing a bunch of other games. And then I got into League of Legends, right? I think back in season 1, season 2, when I
wow.
was like in my cousin's home, and then he's like playing. I was like, "Whoa, what is this game?" And then I think he's playing Ash and Tryndamere. I was like, "Wow, like so cool." And then because my cousin is like 7 year older than me, and I was always try to, whenever I go to his place, I always want to like play some games, be cool, and then play some games together. So got into gaming super early on as well, and then tried so many different games like Hearthstone, Teamfight Tactics, League of Legends, all kinds of games. And then really the previous 5-6 years, out of university, I went to Cornell exchange, I went to Peking U exchange, and that was kind of my freedom time. Like I was in the US, I was in Beijing, I was just Googling where are these poker rooms that I can go to. So I was like skipping classes
Really?
and
Just
then
to
go
play
to
poker?
play poker. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
would you win money? Like how
No,
are those tournaments like?
I lose a lot. And then that was also the time where I had a bunch of Ethereums back then. Like that was like still super cheap.
What year was that?
I think 2018.
Oh, okay.
2018.
Ethereum was probly less than a K, right?
Yeah, like 200-300.
Wow.
And then I think playing poker in Cornell lost me a few ETH. And I was like playing these
Cornell,
shady.
I mean, that's Ivy League, man. Those people, right, are very smart.
I was actually playing, also in real life, but I'm also like Googling, searching for online clubs.
Crazy.
And then I actually got scammed. Like my
really?
ETH. Yeah, I was like cashing in and never got to cash out.
Wait, were you always paying crypto for these poker tournaments?
Yeah, because I don't have
Oh.
like a US bank account, right? I'm just an exchange student.
Right.
But I somehow found, I can actually cash in with like ETH, right?
Is that how you got into crypto? Was because of poker or?
Yeah, actually, I think I already have some ETH, like randomly holding some ETH because some friends told me to. But in Cornell, I just wasted all my ETH playing poker.
That's crazy. What were you studying in university?
I was just studying economics, like finance and like global business. And then just right out of college, I hop into management consulting because my upbringing is just strategy, right? So, games is strategy, playing poker is definitely strategy, playing chess is strategy, and doing like case competitions in university also strategy. So I just want to challenge myself in different industries. So I got into Boston Consulting Group and then starting, BCG, and then, different consulting projects, also strategy. And then 3 years in, I just got this cold email on LinkedIn from Animoca.
Oh,
right. I actually from a headhunter, working for Animoca, and then he was like, there's this cool position, helping to build and scale the strategy and operations team and projects team at Animoca Brands. Are you interested? And then I still remember that was like that's the second day of Lunar New Year, 年初一. And that was like the midnight, and I was like, okay, I was like spend the entire day like buying,
going to relatives' house,
going to relatives'
get that rent envelope,
getting rent envelopes, and it was like 1:40 a.m. at night, and suddenly saw this notification, and I was like, wow, Animoca Brands, like.
Have you heard of?
Yeah, I know, because that time I was already flipping JPEGs and already like deep into Axie Infinity. I know like AB, like is massive, right? Bunch of portfolio companies. So that was the point in time where I decided to just take a leap of faith, like just check it out, like what is this opportunity? And then I just got the opportunity to speak with Min, which is the COO of the company, and then we had this conversation interview, and then that was basically 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And then I hopped into Animoca, started with the operations and projects team, helping to set up processes, set up teams, and scaling the company. And then 2 years ago, I just got this super amazing opportunity that, okay, we now have this Magnus Carlsen IP, and this also elevated into a chess.com partnership. They know I play chess, and they are like, are you interested to take on this project, right? With your gaming and with your strategy experience and with your chess experience. I was like, yeah, bring it on.
So they Animoca already signed with chess.com to create something?
Yeah, so originally that was still like 21, 22, where NFT are still booming.
Right.
So that was the time where we're thinking, okay, like we signed this IP agreement with Magnus Carlsen. Maybe we just launch some Magnus Carlsen NFTs. Maybe that is already super exciting and super hyped, right? But then after we did the whole deal, NFT kind of crashed. Then we kind of have need someone
was that
to
during,
kind
like,
of
FTX and all that debacle. Or?
I think even before FTX,
before
already
FTX.
like NFT is already going down. So we're like, okay, now we already paid, for Magnus, paid for this partnership. What else we can do? And then I was brought into, one of the brainstorms, and then I just have this idea. What if we build chess with a drop of magic? Like, what if there is a form of chess where, like poker, they can actually play online, play for big crypto prize pool, they can own skins, limited edition skins, or even Magnus Carlsen collectibles as NFTs, right? What if this concept, we can bring it alive? And then I just started, as part of the, leading team up until now.
Until now, yeah. Until building this game out and stuff like that. I'm curious actually. How is the difference between the cultures working at like a big consulting BCG to Animoca, because to Web3, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a little bit of a consulting background. It's not because I wanted to work at consulting. It was so my background is in Web2 marketing, right?
Yeah.
And so I was working for this small like digital ad firm, ad tech they call it, and we got acquired by Accenture. I remember like going from like this like millennial. At that time, millennials still hip. Now it's the Gen Zs and all that. But back in those days, millennials, we were the hip ones. And then we go from like hip, unlimited PTO, wear whatever, to the like corporate office, in boomer style. Like, yeah, I was just curious, like, how was that? Like the BC working at like consulting like BCG and then working Web3. And
No, I think actually BCG was kind of cool. Was actually super cool experience because that was like fresh out of college, and then there's like different big corporates and big names that you. I still remember like second week into the project, I was already speaking with some CEO of like listed company, and that exposure is just unreal, right? Like as a fresh grad, you never have that
Yeah, that's true.
opportunity.
That's true.
Like even if
you
you
make a lot of decks and stuff.
yeah, exactly, right? And then of course a lot of decks, a lot of meetings, a lot of ramping up, right, into different
Chargeability, all that. Yeah,
billability,
billability, all the consulting.
and then you get to travel a bit as
Yeah,
well.
right.
But yeah, I think with the BCG background, really set me up as a problem solver and also a kind of a communicator. Like you at consulting, you actually need to balance a lot of stakeholder interests, right? You need to internally manage, you need to downward manage, upward manage, you need to manage all external vendors and stuff, right? Taking those skills into building your own project is actually super important, because now we're working with developers, engineers, artists, investors. You downward manage, you upward manage, you do podcasts. You have to build your brand on Twitter, on X, right? You need to do all kinds of stuff, right, with all kinds of people, right? So that, I think, interpersonal skills and how do you manage a team, and how do you on one hand, you need to push for timelines, but on the other hand, you also need to juggle between priorities. Like that is really the part of the skill set, really comes from being in a consultant environment and juggling between projects after projects. So yeah, super thankful for that opportunity to be able to come from BCG and also like all the way to Animoca and from the strategy team all the way to Anichess and the Checkmate ecosystem and beyond. So
Yeah.
super grateful.
Yeah. How long were you at BCG for?
Around 3 years.
Okay, 3 years. Okay.
And now at Animoca around 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is pretty cool. Like how
Yeah.
like your experience in consulting, because you get to I know, right? You juggle a lot of things, presentations, how to problem solve, right?
Yeah.
Like company's issue. That's what consulting is, right? It's like you're coming in, helping a company out, and seeing what's best to manage strategy and stuff.
Exactly.
No, that's pretty cool there. And early on you mentioned, when I asked you about the game, building out the game and stuff like that, you mentioned how you had like a kind of a life. Not life.
Oh boy, let's go.
Life struggle. I think you know where I'm going
Yeah.
at with this. But yeah, you mentioned that you had cancer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And it wasn't too long ago, right?
Mhm.
Like how? And you're a young guy too.
Yeah.
Right. Like how was that experience like?
Well, that's a life-changing experience, and I want to use this opportunity to praise God, praise Jesus, my Lord and Savior. I think that was really a life-changing experience where last year around August,
Around this time. Ish.
Yeah, around this time.
Oh.
I think when I first figured it out, it's actually end of August. So yeah, literally 1 year anniversary. I forgot to celebrate.
Congrats.
Oh my gosh. but yeah, basically life before cancer, I was super addicted into poker. In a sense where to play online tournaments, sometimes I just keeps on waking up at 2-3 a.m. at night just to catch the US time zone tournaments. And then, like Sunday, they have this like Sunday special, and people say never miss a Sunday because they have this huge guaranteed prize pool, and then you can win a lot of money. And then I was like chasing after glory, chasing after money. And then I was just so addicted, right? So going after these kind of stuff, right? So last year, August, I had this actually for a few months back then already, I had this a little bit of blood in my poop, right? And then at first I don't really I think it's no big deal, right? And then it lasts for quite some time. And then, okay, so one day I just decided to just go and check it out, right? Like, and then actually when I go to the doctor's place, doctor also said like, oh, you're actually so young, you don't really have to do like endoscopy, and you don't really need to do that. And then maybe just prescribe some medicine, and then you just maybe get along with it, right? And see how it goes. But after leaving, excuse me. So after leaving that like doctor's room, I was just ready to pay and ready to go. A nurse just grabbed me into another room. A nurse just tell me, if your insurance cover this, you definitely should check it out. You definitely should do like a thorough endoscopy. And at first I was a little bit scared, right? Because the doctor actually warned me, right? If you do endoscopy, there's like risk of like piercing, your stomach and stuff, right? So I was a bit scared, and I also never tried to I forgot the term, but 麻醉, the anesthesia, anesthesia,
numb your whole body,
numb before. So I was a bit scared, but that nurse actually calmed me down, and that nurse was actually super sincere, and I feel that sincerity in her. So then I booked for doing a thorough endoscopy on both my intestines and also my stomach, right? So turns out the blood in the excrete, it's just like pimple thing, like the hemorrhoids, right? So, but just because I did the whole thorough endoscopy, when I do the biopsy, right, of the cells in the stomach, right, then it turns out to be a super early stage of a lymphoma, which is like a lymph cancer on the stomach, right? But that was a time where I was just super thankful. Like I heard this, and immediately, because thank God I was in church, I was following Jesus for the past 5-6 years, so I know this is definitely God's grace, right? For me to be able to discover that super early, because there's just no symptoms at all. Like the only symptoms would be maybe after a meal you have some burps, right? And that's it, right? You like a lot of people have like little burps and here and there, right? But so there's just no way that I could figure that out so early. Only way is to do that thorough biopsy. Yeah. So that is like, I immediately was like, hallelujah, praise God, and I was like, let's treat this, right? Because God, you let me figure this out so early. Let's try to treat this, and let's not worry and all that. So that was late August, right? And it's early September that I figured this whole thing out and confirmed to be lymphoma. And then just do a bunch of checkups, and then the whole November was a treatment, right? So I have this targeted therapy where
it's not
even chemo, because I was super early. So I don't have to go through chemo. I don't have to go through like electric, like cure. But it's just a treatment where, the medicine just come into the body, and I just need to go back to the hospital 1 day per week for 4 weeks.
Wow.
Right. So there was also like risk involved, right? The doctor also warned me of, okay, if you undergo this treatment, you may be, losing some hair, and then you may be like having like rashes and stuff. But praise God, right? Like throughout the whole November, I actually didn't have any of those symptoms. Like I didn't lose, hair, and my appetite is better than ever. Like those hospital meals are actually so good. so that was like so grateful. And then after November, like thank you to my mom for like taking care of me, because that period of time is where my immunity is just very, very low, right? Because of the medicine, I need to wear masks, you know, I need to stay home basically.
Were you
So-
working that time? Like, what were you?
No, I was
Medical
staying
leave.
home.
Yeah.
No, I was staying home, so I'm working because I'm home, right? Like, what
okay.
else that I can do,
Dude,
right?
right.
So I
No more poker.
no more poker, and then I was like, you know, just keep working basically,
wow.
keep building, and just
So you
make
were building Anichess while
while having cancer.
cancer. Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't stop, and I just have to make sure I have enough rest, be disciplined with my time, because it's not like I can sleep 24 hours a day anyways. Like I need to do something, right? So a big perk of working with Anichess and Animoca is that, you know, I can work anywhere. So basically, yeah, and the you know, the hallelujah point is in February time, when I go back to the doctor, do the endoscopy again, I am 100% cancer free.
Wow.
So that is
wow.
the testimony.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so you were getting treatment from November to February, doing.
It's basically just November.
Oh, okay.
4 times
Oh.
every Monday.
every Monday.
And then I just need to wait for the medication to
kick in.
have,
and stuff like
kick
effect.
in. Yeah.
So then December and January, you didn't have to do the treatment.
just
as much. It's
just
to let
chill.
let the drugs do its work, kind of.
Yeah, let them
Really?
do the work. Yeah.
Wow. And is this common? Like you mentioned, this the type of cancer you have.
No,
with people.
it's super rare actually.
Interesting.
Especially for my age, it's
Yeah.
like super rare. But yeah,
That's
praise
crazy.
praise Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like it's crazy how like while you have cancer, getting treatment, you're like still building. Right?
Yeah.
Anichess and
it's actually also life changing in a way that after this whole episode, I just rethink, right? Like what's the priority in life? Like what's the point of chasing after money and glory while just some kind of accident can happen or some sort of cancer can happen, which just takes your life away, right? What's the point of, you know, just spending and wasting all your time on these things that when you leave this world, you cannot take it with you, right? Like then I started to do like, you know, what I call Sunday Wisdom series on Twitter every single week, to just spread like words of God and also like spread like, you know, goodness, spread like faith, you know, just help people, you know, imagine they see it and they're all going through some tough time, they could be encouraged, right? And also recently I created my Sora account where I just posting scripture every day on Sora.
interesting.
And then try to
Sora's like the platform on base, right?
the
Yeah.
base, you know, just content creator platform where
Yeah.
every post is a coin.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
your Bible verses become coins, huh?
Yeah,
So
each
people
of
can
them
trade.
become a coin.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then, I just rethink and then definitely gets more and more disciplined with my life as well. I need to balance health. I need to be you know, I can't really like, you know, like food, you know, I can't eat like too much, you know.
Okay,
like,
so there's still a kind of limitation with the.
no,
amount.
not really, but it's just the discipline in terms of having a balanced life.
Yeah.
And like not to just also rethink, you know, the whole relationship with God as well, like him being my first priority, and then I cut out so many things that separates me from him, like watching porn, for example. Haven't watched for so long now, and then just cutting things out gradually from my life, and then just get, you know, closer and closer to him, because I feel like the purpose of life, it's like spreading his word and also spreading my own unique experience that he planned for me, and then shine wherever you are, right? It's not like I have to become a priest or something, but wherever we are, like in Web3, we can be his light, and we can share these positivity, and especially for people who haven't met Jesus before or haven't hear the word before, but going through like super tough times, like family leaving, or like having serious illness like cancer, losing the job, like so many different things on this world can just make a person so devastated. But not if you have Jesus in your life, where he's your rock, he's your, he's your tower, and he's your shelter, and your help wherever the situation is.
Yeah, definitely. I know. Off camera, we've been talking a little bit about faith and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember you mentioned something to me where, even now at Animoca, at Anichess, right? You like would pray for people, even meetings, and that's so like. Do you feel like because of that experience, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Of cancer made you more like, I don't know, I don't really care. Like, I'm just gonna do it, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think there's literally one scripture that I forgot which one, but literally in Bible study group, I think yesterday, that we talked about you do things to please God, not please people, right? Like if I pray for this colleague, I'm pleasing God, I do it, right? Yeah. If hopping onto spaces, I praise God, I please Him, I do it. Like a fun story is, even in my Bali panel, like my when I start picking up the mic, I told people about having cancer last year and God just saved my life. Just praise before I do anything. I do it, right? So I think, like, speaking about the purpose of life a bit as well, like if I see a people in need and then I can somehow help pray and help comfort him or her, I please God, I do it, right? So I don't really care like how people feel or how people might see, but if I still have time and if I see a need there, okay, he seems sad about something, let's try to listen to him and try to pray for him, or he is hurt or he's injured, right? Let's try to pray for him, right? So yeah, that is how I'm gonna live my life, like, and I thank you God for just bringing me through this incident, and making me realize that life is much more than just climbing the social ladder and try to please people and try to make a lot of money.
Yeah. I feel like, especially in our industry in Web3, where it's all about financial incentives. What's the next 10x, 100x kind of thing. I think life things like you surviving cancer or just other incidents, I think paints perspective a lot of things for people, right? And for you, for example, and I can see that, right, in what you're building, and it's pretty cool. It is really cool. Yeah. And that's one thing even in my content sometimes I'm like, sometimes maybe I should post something more motivational or something more definitely. Like less, buy this coin, get 10x.
Oh boy, no.
Because I feel like in crypto Twitter, right, it's always you see that
already too much.
Yeah, already too much, right? Too saturated with that. But no, that's pretty cool. That's pretty. I didn't even know about Sora, that every post becomes a coin. Yeah, and I'm sure you can.
I'll send you the invite link.
Yeah, is it invite only right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Everyone can.
Can.
I'll shoot you my link.
Okay.
And I'll buy your creator coin.
A creator coin.
Yeah. So basically, every creator, I think just basically 2 weeks back, they just launched this new feature called Creator Coin. Previously, it's just every post is a coin, but now like they launched this Creator Coin thing, and you probably saw like Jesse and also like even Brian Armstrong, they're like shilling this Balaji coin, which shot up to like 20 mil. So yeah, definitely if we are like content creators, posting content and get a bunch of, you're showcasing you keep adding value and you keep posting content. Definitely a way to, get rewarded as well as a content creator, by coining your posts, posting on Sora, and then just people will naturally buy your creator coin, I think.
Yeah. No, definitely gotta check it out. Definitely gotta check it out. Yeah. Going back to, I know closing out a bit, but going back to Anichess, right? So I know even in the elevator getting here, you told me some alpha. I don't want to
boy.
reveal it.
Yeah.
But what's next for Anichess? I know the token is
Yeah.
coming anytime soon. I know you guys been posting about it.
Yeah.
Well, what's next for Anichess?
So dropping a few alphas here. September is a massive month. We are cooking. So the game is going on to abstract. So you know we're
Okay.
integrating the
Is
abstract.
that the first time people have been hearing it, or
Not the first
okay,
time.
okay. I thought we're gonna get some alpha.
But on like Chinsanity podcast, it has the most reach, right? So
Nice.
so
Abstract, okay.
definitely, we're heading over to abstract. We're having this, at Animoca Brands, we have this strategic partnership with Pudgy Penguins. We're super close with Luca. And then, he played Magnus, right? Because he fell in love with the game.
Yeah.
And then he was just keep trying to get us onto abstract. And then definitely we want to do it, right? Because, we have this partnership with Pudgy Penguins, and then we're also going onto abstract. So just feel like this is the perfect pre-TGE hype that one can build and one can ask for, right? So definitely the game is moving over to abstract.
Would it be before TGE?
Before TGE.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It's
Okay.
happening this month, basically.
Wow.
So people can log in with their abstract global wallet, they can play games, grind some points. And with those points, they can also play this little mini game called the Pengu board, where they can basically use some points to do like scratch card things.
Kind of like gacha.
Kind of like gacha, right?
Ah.
So they can kind of play and earn in a way that they can experience the game for free. They can earn some points, and the better they get, the more points they get. And then the more points they get to play more gacha, basically. And then if they are not a chess player themselves, they can also use Pengu token to buy those points, and then to get more Pengu tokens as rewards, basically. So that is the whole. And also one more thing is the whole game, the skins will be all Pudgy. So we call this Pudgy Takeover, which is the game lobby, everything Pudgy, in-game, the background, the chess pieces, the chessboards, all custom Pudgy made. So we'll have this massive announcement and partnership with both Abstract and Pudgy. And then I think towards mid to late September, we have this Kaido Capital Launchpad. So we're raising a very small round on Kaido at a really low valuation. So just 2% tokens are going onto Kaido. And there will be, I think, a 10-day window where people can purchase or subscribe to the check token on Kaido Launchpad. And then stepping into October, it's gonna get close to TGE. So we're cooking some cool event together with Moonbirds. We're also getting very close with Moonbirds guys.
Okay, yeah.
I actually met with Gary last week in Hong Kong, and then he actually gifted me a booster pack box box before it was actually public. Right, so I was like ripping packs before it's live.
And
because
these are TCG.
the TCG,
cards?
yeah,
The
yeah,
Moonbird
yeah.
ones or the Pudgies?
The Vibes TCG.
Oh.
So the Moonbirds team right now is the Orange Cap Games.
Yep.
Spencer
Spencer
and Gary basically. They just acquired Pudgy. No. They just acquired Moonbirds.
Moonbirds, yeah.
But at the same time, they are OG Pudgy holders.
Yes.
Right. So this freeway tie is super interesting. And we're also doing, gonna do some pretty cool event together with Moonbirds team in Token in Singapore, but at the same time also planning something around Korea as well potentially.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. You guys are like partnering with the power hitters.
The
right now.
power hitters.
Like I think Moonbirds. I think I mentioned last night in the NFT space where it's like out of all the NFTs, the ETH ones, the OG ones, I feel like now they're making move. I mean, you're seeing their price action reflect bullish sentiment around them. Obviously, Pudgy Penguins, I'm super biased, but I think it's the best NFT
Of
collection.
course, no.
No, that's cool. You guys partnering.
No, definitely Pudgy is the best. It's hard to That I think last month, right? There's a period of time where every single top project just changed their PFP to Pudgy. That was like unheard of.
Yeah.
Like that's unreal. So big congratulations to the Pudgy team.
The Pudgy team, yeah.
Yeah.
But how about for yourself? What's next for Chev? Like what? I guess I mean there's a lot happening. I guess for you building and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. What's next?
I
for
think
you?
in reasonable future, I'm still gonna build out Anichess and the whole Checkmate ecosystem because we're just super early, to be honest. Like Anichess is the very first game. We may already have like King's Gambit, launching alpha, and then but a lot of things yet to be built, right? So definitely will be with the team and trying to build out the whole Checkmate ecosystem a bit more. I think bringing more games and doing more power head kind of partnerships, IP deals, and then definitely when the token is live, it's another ball game, right? You have a lot of live ops, you have a lot of different seasons to design.
You guys announce what chain your token's gonna be on yet, or?
So chain is gonna also be on abstract.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's gonna be bridged, to different chains like maybe mainnet, base as well. So it's gonna be multi-chain for the token. But definitely for myself, like personally, I would definitely want to spend more time into learning vibe coding. Because seeing how King's Gambit came from just a concept to actually super addictive to play, I just want to build myself, like, because I don't come from a programming or coding kind of background, but I do think nowadays with AI, like to build some easy mini games and stuff, or even some really cool website or even animations and art, you don't need that at all. Like, so definitely want to polish my skills in terms of vibe coding and try to add more value to the whole Checkmate ecosystem, seeing how like designing tokenomics and also looking at how the check token can power so many different games and seeing that flywheel comes into play.
Yeah.
That would be super exciting.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's really cool. Well, Chev, it was really amazing just to have you here.
Likewise.
Sandy's show. Yeah, and I look forward to hanging out and seeing you and seeing good luck with everything. I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna do some stuff together as well. But yeah,
Definitely. Appreciate it. Anichess. Woo!
Yes, follow. Amazing.